It was late afternoon when he saw the small figure walking alone down the dirt road, her bare feet coated in dust and her eyes filled with a silent fear. The rancher stopped his truck, hesitated for a moment, and his heart, hardened by time and loss, beat differently. The girl looked at him as if asking for shelter, but without the courage to ask. There was something in that gaze that disarmed him, a mix of innocence and abandonment that he recognized because he had felt that way himself once. Living alone on a remote farm, he led a life marked by routine and silence. Ever since he had lost his wife and young son, he had never let anyone get close again. The livestock, the long days, and the sound of the wind in the trees were his only companions. He was an honest man, but tired. He believed that God had already closed the chapter of new beginnings for him until that child appeared. She said little, only that Mom had gone to get help and never came back. The rancher took her home for a night just until things settled down, but time, in its gentle wisdom, began to change the course of the story. Little by little, the girl's presence began to fill the empty spaces. The smell of bread in the oven, a shy laugh coming from the barn, drawings left on the kitchen table. She brought life where before there was only memory. This is the story of a man who found a second chance in the most unlikely place, and of a child who brought light where there was only shadow. Subscribe to the channel to receive heartwarming stories every day. The house was at the end of the dirt road, where the green of the pastures met the grey of the distant mountains. It was a simple wooden structure with red shingles, boasting a wide porch that hugged the entire facade. There, Tomás Ferreira spent his afternoons watching the cattle graze, his hat pulled low over his eyes to shield him from the slowly setting sun. He was 43 years old, but he seemed to carry the weight of many more. His broad shoulders were slightly stooped, not from weakness, but from accumulated weariness. His calloused hands knew how to fix fences, milk cows, plant beans and corn. They knew how to work until his body ached, but they no longer knew how to touch another person with tenderness. It had been 7 years since he'd buried his wife and son. A fever had taken them both in less than a week, leaving behind only silence and the vastness of the farm. At first, Tomás had thought about selling everything, leaving, starting over somewhere where there wasn't a memory in every corner. But he never did. The land held him captive, or perhaps it was guilt, the feeling that abandoning the place would be abandoning them too. Routine was his only companion. He woke before the sun, brewed strong black coffee, and headed out to the barn. He fed the animals, fixed what was broken, harvested what was ripe. At night, he sat on the porch with a plate of simple food and listened to the wind talk to the trees. No radio was on. There was no laughter. There was no conversation. The house held objects he couldn't bring himself to touch. In the back room, a small wooden box held children's drawings, a tiny shoe, a blue wool blanket his wife had knitted. Tomás passed by the closed door every day, but never went in. It was as if that room belonged to another time, to another version of himself he no longer recognized. In the village, 10 miles away, people respected him. A serious man, they'd say, hard-working, a man of his word. But they'd also say, solitary, closed off. Ever since he lost his family, he's not been the same. Tomás knew this, and he didn't care. That Thursday afternoon began like all the others. He'd loaded sacks of feed into his old truck, driven to the co-op to pick up wire for the north pasture fence. The drive back was slow, the road full of potholes and dust. The sun was already dipping behind the hills when he spotted the small figure. At first, he thought it was a lost dog. Then he thought it was tree shadows. But as he got closer, the outline became clear. It was a child, a girl, walking alone, barefoot, in a dirty dress with a torn hem. Tomás slowed down. The engine rumbled low as he approached slowly, trying not to startle her. The girl stopped and turned to him. She must have been about 6, maybe 7 years old. Her dark hair was tangled, her thin face streaked with dried tears and dust. She didn't run. She just stood there, frozen in the middle of the road, her slender arms at her sides, her large eyes fixed on the truck. Tomas stopped completely. He turned off the engine. The afternoon silence enveloped them both. He opened the door slowly and got out. The girl took a step back but didn't flee. "It's okay," he said, his voice hoarse from disuse. "I'm not going to hurt you." She remained silent, just watching. "Are you lost?" The girl looked back at the empty road stretching out until it disappeared around the bend. Then she looked at him again, and something in that gaze, a mixture of fear and hope, of exhaustion and silent plea, pierced Tomas's chest like a sharp blade. He recognized that. Helplessness, the absolute loneliness of someone with nowhere to go. "Where's your mother?" he asked, softer now. The girl lowered her eyes. "She went to get help," she murmured, her voice so low he could barely hear it. "She said she'd be back." "And she came back?" She shook her head slowly. Tomas looked around. There was no house nearby. There was no one. Just the road, the trees, and the sky beginning to darken. "Are you hungry?" She didn't answer, but her tiny body trembled slightly. Tomas sighed. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to get involved. But he couldn't leave a child alone on the road as night fell. "Come on," he said, gesturing to the truck. "I'll take you home. You can eat something, rest, and tomorrow we'll figure things out." The girl hesitated. Then slowly, she took a step and another, until she was close to the truck. Tomas opened the passenger door, and she climbed in, too small to reach on her own. He helped her, and as he touched the child's thin arm, he felt her skin was cold despite the day's heat. He started the engine. The truck rumbled back to life and continued down the dirt road, kicking up a cloud of red dust that shimmered in the orange glow of dusk. The girl remained silent the whole way, her hands in her lap, her eyes fixed on the road ahead. And Tomas, for the first time in 7 years, felt his heart beat differently. He didn't know if it was fear, responsibility, or something else he couldn't name. But he knew that by bringing that child into the truck, something had changed. The house was cold when they arrived. Tomas lit the kerosene lamp, and the yellowish light filled the kitchen, revealing the worn wooden table, the simple cabinets, the wood-burning stove in the corner. Everything was clean, but empty, functional, but lifeless. The girl stood frozen near the door, hands clasped in front of her, eyes scanning the room cautiously. She looked ready to bolt at any second. "Come on in," Tomas said, taking off his hat and hanging it on the peg by the door. "It's safe here." Then he opened the cupboard and took out bread, butter, a piece of cheese, and a few slices of smoked sausage. "Sit there," he indicated the chair closest to the table. The girl obeyed, climbing onto the chair with difficulty. Her legs didn't reach the floor. Tomas prepared a simple meal, bread with butter, cheese, and sausage. He poured a cup of warm milk he'd heated on the stove. He placed it all in front of her and stepped back, giving her space. "Eat. This is my home." She nodded but said nothing. "Your mother, she left you alone? And your father?" "There's a bed there." Inna climbed onto the bed, wrapped herself in the blue blanket and closed her eyes. Within seconds, she was asleep. Tomas stood in the doorway for a long moment, watching the child. Something tightened within him, a mix of pain and tenderness he hadn't felt in years. He closed the door slowly and returned to the kitchen. He sat at the table, lit a candle, and stayed there, in silence, listening to the wind outside. He didn't know what to do. He needed to notify someone. The priest, perhaps, or the town's child protective services. But that could wait until tomorrow. For tonight, the girl was safe. She was fed, warm, protected. And that, for now, was enough. Tomas inclined his head and for the first time in a long time murmured a quiet prayer. He didn't know if God still heard him, but he asked for protection for this child and for the courage to do what was right. Outside, the night continued quietly, but inside the house, something had changed. The silence was no longer so heavy. Morning arrived crisp and cold. Tomas woke before dawn, as usual, but as he passed the hallway, he stopped. The door to the back room was ajar. He peeked inside and saw Anna still sleeping, curled up in the blue blanket, her face relaxed, her breathing soft. He made coffee in silence, sliced fresh bread and heated milk. When Anna appeared in the kitchen, her eyes still puffy with sleep, Tomas already had everything ready on the table. "Good morning," he said, unsure if his tone was right. She murmured something akin to mourning and sat in the same chair as the night before. They ate in silence. Afterward, Thomas took her to the bathroom, helped her wash her face and hands. He found an old shirt of his that fit her almost like a dress and improvised a belt with some twine. "I'll need to go into town," he said. "You'll come with me." Anna nodded, her eyes still wary but less scared. The truck ride to town took 20 minutes. The road was dry, dust rising in clouds behind them. Anna remained quiet the whole time, looking out the window, her hands gripping the blue blanket that Tomas had let her keep. The town was small, a central square with a white-walled church, a few houses around it, a general store, the rectory. People knew people. News traveled fast. Tomas parked in front of the church and got out with Anna. A few people in the square turned their heads. Donna Sebastiana, the butcher's wife, narrowed her eyes. Sir Joachim, the blacksmith, stopped hammering for a moment to look. Tomas felt the weight of their stares, but kept walking. Father Augusto was watering plants in the side garden. He was a man of about 60 with grey hair, round glasses, and a serene voice. Seeing Tomas with the girl, he frowned. "Tomas," he greeted. "What a surprise. I need to speak with you." Father Augusto wiped his hands on his apron and invited them both into the rectory. The room was simple, with a table, a few chairs, and a crucifix on the wall. Tomas told him everything. Where he'd found Anna, what she'd said about her mother, how she'd spent the night on the farm. The priest listened in silence, his fingers interlaced on the table. When Tomas finished, he sighed. "And what do you want me to do? Or someone responsible? I can't keep the girl." Father Augusto looked at Anna, who was sitting beside Tomas, clutching the blanket. "And you, child, do you remember where you came from?" Anna shook her head. "Just the road. And the old house." "Weeks. In the square, more stairs, more whispers." Donna Sebastiana approached, hands on her hips. "Tomas Ferreira, where did this girl come from? The shame that wasn't his, but that the town would place on his shoulders, the judgmental moralizing that condemned before understanding." Anna took his hand as she climbed into the truck. A small gesture, but it caught him by surprise. "Are you going to leave me?" she asked, her voice thin. Tomas looked at her and something inside him yielded. "Not today," he answered. "Today you stay with me." Anna let out a light, relieved sigh. And as the truck rumbled back towards the ranch, Tomas realized he had just made a promise, one he wasn't sure he could keep. But for now, it was enough. The days that followed brought a routine Tomas hadn't expected. Anna woke with him, had breakfast, then followed him to the barn. At first, she just watched, quiet, clutching her blue blanket. But slowly, she began to open up. She discovered the calves and started naming each one. "This one's Thunder, that one's Cloud, and this little one here is Daisy." Tomas didn't correct her. He just let her talk, let her laugh, let her fill the silence of the ranch with a child's voice. One morning, while he was fixing the fence on the east pasture, Anna appeared beside him with a cup of fresh water. He stopped working, surprised, and drank it slowly. "Thanks," he said. "You're welcome," she replied, smiling for the first time. That smile was like a ray of sunshine breaking through heavy clouds. In the afternoon, Tomas taught Anna how to collect eggs in the chicken coop. She was afraid of the hens at first, but he showed her how to move slowly, how to speak softly so as not to startle the birds. After a few days, she was going on her own, returning with a full basket, proud. At night, he noticed Anna had trouble sleeping. He'd hear her tossing and turning, sometimes crying softly. So he started reading to her. He had an old Bible and some stories his wife used to keep. He'd sit on the edge of her bed and read in a low voice until Anna's eyes closed. One night, she clutched his hand. "You're good," she murmured, already half asleep. Tomas was speechless. He just squeezed her small hand back. But not everything was simple. Father Michael returned from the city with news. No one was looking for a missing child. No reports, no records. It was as if Anna didn't officially exist. "What does that mean?" Tomas asked, standing in the rectory living room. "It means her mother might have disappeared on purpose, or she never registered the girl, or worse." The priest let the sentence hang in the air. Tomas felt his stomach clench. "And now? You're going to have to make it official. Social services will want to visit you. They'll assess if you're fit to keep her." "Fit?" Tomas frowned. "I have a house, food, a job." "But you're single, Tomas. You live alone, and the girl just appeared out of nowhere. They'll ask questions." "Lots of questions. Can I put it on the wall?" "You can." She ran inside, happy, and Tomas stood there, holding the drawing, feeling something inside him break and rebuild at the same time. That night he sat on the porch after Anna was asleep. The sky was full of stars. The wind carried the scent of wet earth, and Tomas, for the first time in years, felt his life had a purpose again. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew he would do whatever it took to protect that child. Because Anna wasn't just a lost girl on the road. She was the chance for redemption he hadn't even known he was waiting for. It was in the second week that Anna got sick. Tomas noticed at breakfast. She was too quiet, her face flushed, her eyes glazed over. He touched her forehead and felt the heat. "You have a fever," he said, trying not to show worry. Anna just nodded, weak. He took her back to bed, covered her with the blue blanket, brought fresh water. The fever climbed during the day. In the afternoon, she shivered under the covers, her lips dry, her body burning. Tomas felt fear grip his throat. It was the same fever, the same one that had taken his wife and son. He couldn't lose Anna too. He grabbed the truck and raced to town. He knocked on the door of Donna Lucia, the midwife who also cared for the sick when the doctor wasn't around. She came immediately, a woman of about 50, her hair pulled into a bun, her eyes sharp. She examined Anna, touched her forehead, her neck, listened to her breathing. "It's a common fever," she said calmly, "but she needs care. Water, cold compresses, mullein tea, and patience." Tomas obeyed everything. He prepared the tea with trembling hands, dipped cloths in cold water and wiped Anna's forehead, neck and wrists. He stayed beside the bed all day, all night, watching every breath. Anna sometimes raved. She called for her mother. She cried softly. Tomas held her hand and spoke in a firm voice. "I'm here, you're safe." On the morning of the second day, the fever finally broke. Anna opened her eyes, still weak but lucid. "Tomas, I'm here." She squeezed his hand. "I dreamed you had left. I'm not going anywhere," he promised, his voice hoarse with exhaustion. Donna Lucia returned the next day and examined Anna again. "She's past the worst," she said. "But you took good care of her. You saved her." Tomas didn't answer. He just looked at Anna, who was sleeping peacefully now. When Donna Lucia left, she paused at the door. "People are talking, Tomas." He looked up. "About you and the girl. They say it's not right." Tomas clenched his teeth. "What matters is that she's alive and safe." Donna Lucia sighed. "I know, and I know you're a good man, but be careful. There are people who won't see it that way." After she left, Tomas sat in the kitchen, exhaustion weighing on his shoulders. He knew Donna Lucia was right. The whole town must be talking by now, judging. But when he looked into the room and saw Anna sleeping peacefully, covered by the blue blanket, he knew he didn't care. She needed him, and he realized with painful clarity, needed her too. It was on a Sunday that the truth came out. Thomas and Anna were returning from the town fair, the truck loaded with groceries, when they saw a group of people gathered in front of the church. There was movement, raised voices. Thomas slowed the truck. He recognized Father Michael, Mrs. Gable, the sheriff from the next town over, and a gaunt woman with hollow eyes leaning on a cane. Thomas's heart leaped into his throat. He knew that woman. He parked the truck and got out slowly. Anna stayed in the passenger seat, clutching her blanket. "Thomas!" called the priest, waving him closer. He walked, his legs feeling like lead. The woman looked at him. Even frail and ill, her eyes held the same spark from years ago. "Thomas Ferreira," she said, her voice weak. "It's been a long time." He stood in silence, his throat tight. The sheriff stepped forward. "Mr. Ferreira, this is Helena Souza. She's looking for her daughter, a 7-year-old girl, Anna." The world seemed to stop. Thomas looked at Helena, then at the truck, where Anna was watching them through the window. "She's my daughter," Helena said, her voice breaking. "I left her on the road because I had nowhere to go. I thought someone would find her, someone who could take better care of her than I could." "And why didn't you come back?" asked the priest, his voice gentle but firm. Helena lowered her eyes. "Because I'm sick, tuberculosis, and I don't have a home. I have nothing. I thought she'd be better off without me." Thomas took a step forward, his voice rough. "You knew I still lived here." Helena looked up, tears streaming down her face. "I did. I never forgot you, Thomas. When you helped me years ago, when I ran away from that man, you were the only one who took me in." Thomas felt guilt rise like bile in his throat. He remembered. He remembered Helena arriving in town, bruised and scared. He remembered giving her shelter, promising to help. And he remembered backing down, letting fear and shame win, leaving without looking back. "You abandoned me," Helena said, her voice trembling. "I was pregnant and you left." Thomas closed his eyes. The pain was physical, searing. "I'm so sorry," he murmured. "But I didn't come here to blame you," Helena continued. "I came because I'm dying and Anna needs someone, and I thought maybe you could..." She couldn't finish, her voice breaking into sobs. The priest moved closer, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Helena came to me this morning. She told me everything, and she asked for my help finding her daughter." Thomas looked at the truck. Anna had gotten out and was walking slowly towards them, her eyes fixed on Helena. "Mom?" The girl's voice was small, uncertain. Helena fell to her knees and opened her arms. Anna ran and threw herself into them, and they cried together, clinging to each other. Thomas watched, his chest tight, his eyes burning. After a long moment, Helena stood up with difficulty, holding Anna's hand. She turned to Thomas. "I don't have much time. The doctor said months at most, and I don't want Anna to go to an orphanage. I don't want her to suffer anymore." She took a deep breath. "Thomas, I'm asking you, take care of her, like you promised to take care of me one day." Thomas looked at Anna. The girl was watching him, her eyes full of tears, but also of hope. He took a step forward. "I'll take care of her. I promise." Helena let out a sigh of relief. She squeezed Thomas's hand with her own, weak and trembling. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for giving me the chance to see her safe." In that moment, under the afternoon sun and before all the townspeople, Thomas knew his life would never be the same. God wasn't punishing him, he was offering redemption. And this time, he wouldn't run. Helena spent her last days at the ranch. Thomas set up a room for her, placing the bed near the window so she could see the pasture and the sky. Anna stayed by her mother's side, sitting on the edge of the bed, holding her hand, telling her about the calves, the garden, the drawings she made. Helena listened, her eyes shining, and now and then she'd look at Tomas with silent gratitude, but time was short. On the fifth night, Helena called Tomas to talk. They were in the kitchen, late at night while Anna slept. "I won't last much longer," Helena said, her voice faint. "I can feel it in my strength, in my body." Tomas didn't deny it. "When I'm gone, you'll need to make this official. Anna needs a real home. She can't be left in limbo." "I know. There's a paper." Helena took an envelope from her dress pocket. "It's her birth certificate, and a letter I wrote giving you permission to keep her. I don't know if it's legally binding, but it's all I have to offer." Tomas took the envelope carefully. "Thank you." Helena looked at him, her eyes serious. "Have you forgiven yourself, Tomas?" The question caught him by surprise. "I don't know." "Then forgive yourself, because Anna will need a whole father, not a man broken by guilt." Tomas pressed his lips together. Tears burned his eyes, but didn't fall. "I failed you, and I've forgiven you. Now forgive yourself too." The next day, Father Michael came to visit. He brought news from social services. They wanted to visit the ranch, assess the conditions, talk to Tomas about the possibility of temporary guardianship. "But there's resistance," the priest warned. "Some people in town are questioning it. They say a single man shouldn't raise a child alone, that it's not appropriate." Tomas felt anger rise. "And what do they want? For her to go to an orphanage?" "They don't think about that. They only think about appearances." Tomas clenched his fists. "I'll fight. I'll prove I can take care of her." The priest smiled sadly. "I know, and I'll help you however I can." 3 days later, Helena took a turn for the worse. Her cough worsened, her body weakened. Tomas called Mrs. Gable, who came with palliative medication, but both knew it was only a matter of time. On her last night, Helena asked to see Anna alone. Tomas waited outside, listening to the mother's faint voice and the daughter's thin one. When Anna came out, her eyes were swollen from crying. Tomas picked her up, and she clung to him, sobbing. "She said she'll be with the angels," Anna murmured, "and that you'll take care of me now." "I will," promised Tomas, his voice firm. "Always." Helena died at dawn, as the sun rose golden over the fields. Tomas held her hand until the end, and when her last breath left her, he carefully closed her eyes and murmured a prayer. Anna cried for days. Tomas stayed by her side, wordless, just present. They buried Helena in the town cemetery under a large tree. The priest held a simple ceremony, and a few people attended. Mrs. Gable, Mr. Johnson, even Mrs. Gable, who brought flowers. But there were also looks, silent judgments. Tomas didn't care. On the way back home, Anna held his hand. "You won't leave me, will you?" "Never." And in that moment, Tomas knew he would do anything to keep that promise. Because Anna wasn't just a child under his protection. She was his daughter, now and forever. The social worker arrived on a Thursday morning. She was a woman in her mid-30s, hair pulled back, a serious expression, a briefcase tucked under her arm. She introduced herself as Mariana Suarez and said she needed to assess the situation. Tomas met her in the living room. Inna was in her room drawing. He offered coffee, but Mariana declined. "Mr. Ferreira, I'll be direct. Your situation is delicate, and that takes time. They'll investigate your background, your financial situation, your relationship with the child. I need to ensure the child is safe, that Tomas took care of her, that she felt safe. When Mariana left, she left a paper with instructions. Tomas needed to gather documents, get testimonies, and appear for a preliminary hearing in 2 weeks. That afternoon, Tomas went to the rectory. Father Michael greeted him with coffee and cookies. "I need your help, Father." "Gable, with Mr. Henderson, with some other folks from town. We'll make it happen." of the bond that formed, of the promise he made to Helena, and for the first time in years, he wrote about his regret, about abandoning Helena when she needed him, about how it haunted him, about how Anna was his chance to do the right thing. When he finished, tears stained the paper, but he left it as it was. The night before the hearing, Anna appeared in the kitchen, clutching her blue blanket. "Are you scared?" she asked. "A little, but we'll stay together no matter what happens." The girl held the blue blanket and his hand with equal strength. The judge read through the file, listened to Mariana Suarez explain the situation, then called the witnesses. Father Michael spoke first. He said he had known Tomas for years, that he was a hard-working, honest man of faith, that he had seen the bond between him and Anna, that it was real, true. Mrs. Gable testified about the care Tomas had given Anna during her fever, about his dedication, his patience, his love. Mr. Henderson said Tomas had always been respected in the community, that he had never given cause for doubt, but then Mrs. Peterson asked to speak. "With all due respect, Your Honor, but a single man shouldn't raise a girl alone. It's not natural. People talk, and with good reason. Otherwise, please sit down." Mrs. Peterson turned red, but she sat. The judge then turned to Tomas. "Mr. Ferreira, do you have anything to say?" "To be the man I should have been before." He took a deep breath. "Anna is not a burden, not an obligation. She is my daughter, and I will take care of her until my last day, not because the law says so, but because I love her." "What is your recommendation?" Gable brought a cake she had made especially. Even Mr. Henderson smiled, a rare occurrence, but when they returned to the ranch, it was already night. The full moon illuminated the fields, silver and serene. Anna ran to her room, placed the blanket on the bed, and returned to the kitchen. "Is it official now?" she asked. "It's official now." And Tomas, holding that small child, felt peace wash over him, a peace he hadn't felt in years. God had been generous. He had given him a second chance, and this time he wouldn't waste it. The months that followed were transformative. The ranch, once silent and empty, filled with life. Anna ran through the pasture, helped in the barn, planted beans in the garden. She learned to bake bread with Mrs. Gable, who visited them every week. She learned to read with Tomas, who sat beside her every night and taught her letter by letter. Tomas built a swing on the big oak tree near the house. Anna spent her afternoons there, swinging and laughing, her hair flying in the wind. He had also redone her room. He painted the walls a soft blue, built shelves for her drawings, and hung curtains that Mrs. Gable had sewn. The blue quilt remained on the bed, now accompanied by plush pillows and a new blanket. For Anna's birthday, the first they celebrated together, Tom had a small party. He invited the pastor, Mrs. Gable, Mr. Joachim, and a few kids from town. There was cake, sweets, and music. Anna blew out the candles and made a silent wish. Later, after everyone had left, she told Tom, "I wished for us to be together forever." Tom hugged her, his eyes wet. "That's already been granted." The social worker came back 2 more times. She talked with Anna, with Tom, and with the neighbors. On the 3rd visit, she brought good news. "Final custody approved. Congratulations, Mr. Ferreira." Tom signed the papers with trembling hands. When Mariana left, he lifted Anna into the air and twirled her around, both of them laughing. "Now it's official, for real," she exclaimed. "Now I'm really your daughter." "You always were." That night, Tom went out onto the porch. The sky was clear, full of stars. He thought of Helena, of how she had trusted him. He thought of the wife and son he had lost, and he thanked God silently for his mercy. Life hadn't been easy, but it had brought Anna to him, and she, with her light-hearted laughter and her big heart, had healed wounds he thought would never mend. The following month, Tom and Anna planted a tree where he had first found her. It was a young yellow ipe, still small, but strong. "When it grows up, it'll have flowers," Tom said. "And will we come here always?" "Always." The two watered the sapling together, the red earth clinging to Anna's bare feet. And as the sun set, bathing the fields in golden light, Tom held his daughter's hand and knew he was home. Not just on the ranch, but in the place where his heart had finally found peace. Because sometimes the hardest paths are just detours God uses to lead us back to love. And on that dirt road, where a man found a lonely girl, they both found the quiet miracle of a new beginning. Life went on, gentle and full of purpose. Tom taught Anna how to fix fences, how to plant seeds, how to listen to the silence of the countryside. Anna taught Tom how to laugh again, how to dream, how to believe that tomorrow could be better than yesterday. And when the folks from town passed by the ranch and saw the two of them on the porch, him mending a saddle, her reading a book aloud, they'd say, "Well, look at that. God knows what he's doing." And they were right. Because in that simple house, surrounded by fields and mountains, a family had been born. Not of blood, but of love. Not of perfection, but of the courage to try again. And that, in the end, was all that mattered. What would you do in their place? Did this story touch you? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive new stories every day. Comment below what you liked most and share it with someone special.